Can we just make a love song? Can we just let it play?
What's down, baby loves? It's your girl Kings because of my hair, nothing more, nothing less. And today I'm giving you an insight about me and what I've endured as a child, which led me into dealing with depression and anxiety. Okay, so let's talk about the now first before I dive into that. Um, Now I currently out of college because I was dealing with depression. Like I felt like I couldn't do it, and I didn't really have that big of a support system. And it's like I'm going from here to here. I'm not making it home to like 6 or 7 o'clock when I get off at 3. It was very frustrating. So I was just like, you know what, this ain't for me. And so I left. I may or may not go back in fall. I may or may not go back. I'm working on getting me a car. I mentally, I don't know where I'm at. Like, I feel like I could be doing so much more. I just don't know. Like, I've given up on a lot of things. Like, I've given up on music. Like, I don't even feel the urge to sing or write anymore. It's like I don't feel the urge to do anything. And I'm kind of afraid of that because music is what makes me happy. Music was what helped me through everything that I went through. So the fact that I am feeling that way scares me. And I know y'all probably like, you should be talking to your therapist about this, but it's just something I want to open up about. Because some people may be feeling the same way too. Like, I be feeling lost and discouraged, and I don't open up to people and tell people about it because there was times as a child where people kind of ignored everything that I felt and made it seem like I was doing too much. So I just haven't had the chance to open up about this kind of stuff. And the reason why I'm opening up to a camera is because, hell, it's a camera. Like, I don't have anybody else to really, like, talk to and verbally express how I feel, And me personally, it's like I'm getting better. Like, I'm not the same person that I was a year ago. But at the same time, it's like I feel like I could be doing so much more. Like, right now, I'm just, eating better, working out, trying my best to be better. Mentally, I'm still stuck. Like, I'm still lost. I feel like things are not going my way. I feel like I'm failing at everything. Like, I found myself almost giving up on this because it's like, oh, I'm not gaining enough. I'm not doing something right. Da 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 da. It's just crazy. Some people just don't get it. But I'm I'm gonna be all right. Like, it's not to the point where I just want to go back to cutting myself and stuff again because it's not worth it, to be honest with you. Boom. Let me get into what happened, into why I deal with depression. In elementary, middle, and the beginning of my high school career, I dealt with bullying. Up until the point where in 6th grade, I ended up being cyberbullied. Somebody ended up taking a picture of me while I was asleep on a school field trip, and it was everywhere on social media. And honestly, I was in tears because I was hurt because I didn't do anybody anything. I always minded my own business, you know what I'm saying? But the fact that she did that, it really broke my heart because I don't do nobody nothing. Like I said, I just be to myself. I had a couple of friends. I wasn't popular because, to be popular, you had to be skinny, and I wasn't skinny. And I was dark, and, I was just dealing with insecurities. I didn't really have no support support system to lean on during that time period, you know. And this is about my 5th time recording this, so if I seem lack of emotion, it's because I'm not trying to cry on camera. I'm sorry. I promised myself that I will never cry on camera no matter how hard it gets. Anyways, I didn't have any support system. I didn't really have anybody to lean on because, first of all, the person that was my best friend, she didn't go to school with me in 6th grade. We didn't have that much of communication in 6th grade due to the fact we went to different schools. My family wasn't really that big of a help. Actually, my cousin's friends weren't a big of a help either because they know these girls, you know. They basically laughed it off, and I understood that because at the end of the day, they didn't owe me no loyalty. But I at least thought my family did. And I felt like I didn't have anybody helping me. And so, moving on, I ended up leaving that school because I was embarrassed. I didn't want people to see that that was me. That was the girl who picture is plastered up on a social media site. And so I ended up going to a different school. My best friend was there. Both of my best friends were there at the time, and we just had a good time. Everything was lit. I was just happy. Everything was okay. And I also discovered my talent and my voice in singing at that school. So I began singing everywhere. Like, it was crazy. And, you know, people still talked about me. And I found myself flashing out, but it didn't really help because it didn't really stop nothing. But I still flashed. Moving on into high school, I'm trying to make this as fast as possible because they only give me 15 minutes for right now. But moving on into high school was where depression really hit because at the time my family was in a financial bind. I felt like I wasn't good enough. I didn't have the hottest clothes, the hottest shoes. I wasn't skinny. I wasn't bright. I was just this big dark-skinned girl. And people tend to remind me that every day. And so I started dealing with insecurities. I never could look at myself or do my makeup or anything of that nature. It was always just, you know, me looking down. And so I would start wearing big clothes and big sweaters and everything of that category. And so there was this girl in 9th grade. She used to nitpick with me all the time. And the teachers used to see it too. It was a couple of them that seen it. I forgot that. I remember one of their names, but I'm not going to put them out there like that. It took a student, you know, a student and a friend of mine to this day, Tabitha, to put that out there and ask the teacher why you didn't tell them to stop and why did you let them keep going with this. He, the teacher, acted as if he was deaf and couldn't hear the girl bullying me, which really pissed me off, and it kind of ruined my trust with everybody. And so, you know, I'm trying not to cry, but your girl eyes getting a little watery. And so, at that point, end of the school year rolled on. I never forgot Teasy because we ended up adding each other on social media. That's my dog to this day. I ended up going to high school, but I still was depressed. Like, I ended up starting to cut myself and stuff like that because I felt like I wasn't good enough. I felt like nobody cared about me. I felt like I didn't fit in because I didn't have this, I didn't have that. I wasn't looking like this and I wasn't looking like that. All I had was my voice and my writing. So while dealing with that and being suicidal, all I did was write, which kind of ruined my whole verbal communication. I'm not, you know, as you can see, I'm not really good with that kind of stuff. So I kept cutting myself until my mom found the knife in my dresser. And at this time, this was close to Christmas, and so she called my dad, and I guess she told him what I was doing, and he called me, not called me, but called my name to sit where he was on the couch, and he talked to me, but to be honest with you, it went from one ear out the other because it didn't really help me none. All I took from that speech was that I was selfish because I was committing suicide. Well, I was contemplating on committing suicide, and I was selfish because I wanted to end my own life. And on one end, I thought that I was, but it's like I still didn't get the help that I needed. And so my mom, she ended up hiding the knives, but it was always this joke where, oh, you're going to get the knife and da-da-da-da. I still didn't get help. I still was down. And so, I'm sorry because I had this piece of gum in my mouth. And so I ended up going to the razor instead of the knife. And the razor didn't really work. Like, y'all probably can't see this, but like, the razors ended up cutting myself with the razor. It was kind of like a cat scratch. Like, it didn't really work. And so I just was like, you know what? I'm just gonna have to pray and write more. And so I was just writing and writing and writing and writing. There was those urges that was still there. Sometimes I would relapse, but I just stopped somehow. I'm like, man, I just stopped. And throughout high school, my grades were like trash 9th and 10th grade year. I didn't really bring my grades up to 11th and 12th grade year, unfortunately. And it's kind of sad how I let depression get to me like that. And, instead of really blaming myself, I found myself blaming the people who hurt me. I found myself being hateful towards them. I found myself wanting to see them do bad. And I'm here to tell y'all that is not okay. It is not okay for y'all to hate the people that hurt you. Forgive them. Move on. Don't forget, because you can't forget that, especially something that traumatizing. Because whether y'all notice or not, when you bully people, that stuff is traumatizing because they will never forget it. That hurt and that injuries, the injuries that they had to endure, it hurts. And so it took me some time to forget these people, including my family members. It wasn't really until one of the people that bullied me ended up getting killed about, I want to say, almost 2 years ago. And at that point, I prayed to God and I told him, I forgive that person and I forgive all the people that have hurt me, because at the end of the day, I don't want to go to hell for having such a bitter spirit towards these people. I'm not a hateful person. I don't want to be bitter and low down and dirty to people that have hurt me in the past. Like, yeah, y'all did that. Y'all don't have to apologize. Y'all don't owe me that. But I forgive you. Just to move on with my life. That's it. Because at the end of the day, that conversation is going to be between you and God. It wasn't like, honestly, it wasn't really until I got out of high school to where you know, I started feeling a tad bit happier. Still with depression though. I started feeling a tad bit happier, you know. I started becoming myself and loving who I am as an individual. It took all those years and all that time for me to realize that I cannot be anybody else but me. You know what I'm saying? So I cut my straight ends of my hair and I let it grow out, and voila. That's how I became Kinks, you know. I came to the realization that since I can't be a stick, I gotta be one hell of a stone. And who? I ain't got time to be sitting up there being insecure my whole life, focusing on what people think about my outer appearance. Because if I was to walk outside with some sweatpants and a big old sweater, people would still find a way to talk about me. And that's what I came to realize. You know, even though I'm still, you know, working out and trying to lose weight and stuff like that, people don't know that, so they just gonna talk about me and automatically throw daggers at me. So with that being said, all I can do is do me and be who I am, which is Kinks. So listen, if y'all have endured bullying and stuff of that nature, I'm so sorry for that. You know, I hate that you had to deal with that. And if you need any guidance or anything, just hit me up, because honestly, I didn't really talk to nobody. You know, everybody's beautiful in their own way. If you are the bully in this situation, you gotta chill out, because don't nobody want to be around no bully. And let me tell you something, karma is something else. So what you do to somebody may not come back to bite you. It may come back to bite your child. So love people how you want to be loved. Treat people how you want to be treated. Anyways, I love y'all. Be so blessed that you don't be stressed. Be pretty, but don't be too sedity. I love you. Kinks is out.